Happy Christmas, everyone, wherever you are in the world. It's Christmas afternoon, 1 o'clock, I think. I never know the time, do I? Could be 12 o'clock. Anyway, gonna have a swim and then go for in the steam room, and then get ready to go out for Christmas lunch, Christmas dinner at Hemingways in Jontium. Special set Christmas dinner. I think it's £20–25, something like that. I'm going to do another Christmas message to add on to this and tell you my latest thoughts and updates. But in the meantime, I have found out, because all these self ones like this are reverted the wrong way round, and I've now found out how I can reverse them and put them the right way round, so I may even do that in the future. Part 1 done. Christmas swim. I do 4 lengths of that from where that deck chair is, our little girl, right up and down 4 times. Doing it without stopping now, which I didn't do in the beginning. And yeah, it gets me out of breath, of course it does. I'm an old bastard. Anyway, what are some of my Christmas thoughts and plans? Well, I never planned to try and get a retirement visa in Thailand, but that's now what I'm heading for. So I'll tell you the story about how that all came about, how originally I had a return flight booked. I was going to Gran Canaria for 2 months. I had my return flight booked for the 23rd of December. So I can tell you the story about how that suddenly changed. It's a good story. There's my lens, 100 metres, probably a bit more than that. 4 times, it's a good start. One day I have to go all the way round, because you can go, this pool, it goes all the way around the whole complex with the kids area in the middle. So who knows. Part 2 is the steam room now. Let's get sweating. Oh my Buddha, part 2. Part 2 coming up. Let's go. First couple of days I'd sit in here thinking, oh, it's not very hot, this steam room could do with being a bit hotter. Then the lady cleaner came, saw me one day sitting in here and showed me how to switch it on. It's plenty hot enough now. When you switch it on, it pumps out for about 15 minutes at a time. So yeah, happy days. Cold shower to follow. And just to prove it, you only have the option of a cold shower down here. So, that is cold. Oh my Buddha. So yeah, my original plan when I set off, which was November time, early November, I was going to spend 2 months in Spain. I was going to go to Malaga city and explore the area, the suburbs of Malaga, Torrex, Arbeloas, places like that, where property was cheap out there. So that was the original plan. Then I thought, well, I need some sun first. So I went to Gran Canaria. Changing the background for you. I went to Gran Canaria because I knew it was going to be warmer there. And I think I booked the first place, a little 1-bed villa on Airbnb. And it was £80 or £90 a night for about 10 nights. And it was really nice. Really, really enjoyed it. And then cutting an even longer story short about that, eventually I booked and I moved around a little bit. I wasn't enjoying moving around, and I booked this place in Porto de Morgan, and I thought I'd treat myself. It was quite a nice hotel, and it was 9 or 10 nights for £1,400. But I thought, you know what, I'm on holiday, just pay it. And when I booked it, I straight away got a message saying, we don't know how you managed to book that because we're actually fully booked up. We'll get away from the running water because I don't really know what that sounds like. Yeah, we're fully booked up. It's better that way round, isn't it? So, although you don't have cancellation rights, because I booked the cheapest way with no cancellation rights, if you cancel, we'll make sure you got your money back. And that happened after a few emails. They wanted to give me a bloody credit note, which was no good to me. So eventually I got the money back about 4 days later, but I kept looking at my statement. £1,400 for 10 nights, 9 or 10 nights, and I thought, I can't stay here 2 months. You know, if it's £100 a night and it's 30 days in a month, that's £3 grand a month. I might as well go back to Soho, which is still the place I love living. Loved living. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? I can't be spending over £2 grand a month, otherwise I might as well be back in the UK. Yeah, I've got the warmer weather, but you know, Spain and Gran Canaria obviously wasn't cheap. The last place I booked, it was £75 a night, and it was like a bloody hostel. Didn't have any cooking facilities. It was like a studio room. It didn't have aircon. It only had a fan. It was bloody awful, really, in hindsight, looking back, compared to where I am now anyway. And I know you can't compare that because it's a different ball game. So what did you do, I hear you all ask? Can't hear anything, but that's the entrance when I come in and out of my condo, look. Straight into the swimming pool. So if I went back home, I'd be back on my daughter's sofa. So I had no choice really but to keep travelling. And travelling I did. To be continued. So, some of you have heard parts, if not all these stories before, but even when I was going to Spain, I was paying for my flights, which is obvious, but I collected through my business over 400,000 Avios air miles, and they needed spending. And then I thought, my mate from Soho, in fact, my ex-landlord, who's now a mate from Soho, him and his brother were in Thailand. And so the penny dropped. I thought, I can fly to Thailand, business class, use 200,000 of my air miles. Well, I brought David with me to finish the story. Use 200,000 of my air miles, pay £500 in taxes. I think it was £550 in taxes, both ways, return flight, business class. And then when I get there, I'll probably be paying £30 a room, £30 a night for hotels with pools and everything. So it was a bit of a no-brainer. Deep and Dave, the two brothers, were out there for I think they went for 3 weeks in total, and there was about a 10-day crossover. If I changed my flight, because remember I had a flight booked back to come back from the Canary Islands 23rd of December. So I changed my flight, came back a month or so early, didn't spend that 1,400 quid, didn't rebook anywhere, just came straight back, spent a few days back on my daughter's sofa, sorted out a flight, business class, Qatar Airways, change in Doha, and the next minute I was in Thailand, landing at the Bangkok airport. Savannah Boom. Savannah Boom? How do you pronounce it, Dave? I'm not really sure, Trev, but thing is, you always get things wrong anyway, don't you? Yeah, he's right, actually. I do always get things wrong. Changing the background again. So, little look inside my room. I'd like to do it out over the balcony, but the sun just doesn't allow it. It messes all the picture up. And David gets hot out there anyway. He doesn't like it in the heat. So, that was it. My original plans of coming here was to come here and again go back on the 23rd of December, which was my original date to come back and spend Christmas with my daughter and grandson, Scarlett and Dylan. So came out. Always said years ago I didn't want to go to Pattaya again, but I did enjoy it there. It was all right, and I think it was all right because there was a couple of guys to hang around with. Well, 3 guys, if you count David, but he's not much of a drinker nowadays. So, a couple of weeks down the line, here, I was moving again. I wanted to, when my 2 mates went back to the UK, I wanted to try out Jomtien because I heard Jomtien was quite nice and obviously a bit quieter than Pattaya. So I found a place in Jomtien. A few of those who see it, it's quite dark and dingy. Internet wasn't good, and it was £22 a night, but it had a swimming pool which wasn't great, but it was all right. And it was a 1-bed sort of condo, so it felt a bit like living again, which is what I kept aspiring to. Try and be somewhere where I was living, not always on holiday. I mean, the first 2 weeks in Pattaya, I was on holiday and it was great. But long term, I wanted to pretend I was living there and try living somewhere. And Spain was absolutely the place. Apart from, again, let's go back. 4 years living in central Soho, over £20,000 a month, a year rent, plus my expenses, left a huge hole in my retirement budget. And David didn't leave me anything in his will either, so hang on, he looks a bit bad, doesn't he? Now the support for his head's gone, like, oh, his head's gone. So I arrived in Pattaya, 2 weeks. Oh yeah, then I went to Jomtien. And I remember I'd followed this guy, Welsh Webby, on YouTube, and I asked him, bit of a perfectionist, I know. I asked him to remind me where he was staying, because I know his condo was even cheaper than where I was staying. And I had a couple more weeks left at that point, and I was still at that point when I got to Jomtien, which was early January. I was still coming home. I think it was about the 10th of January. I was still coming home, back home to the UK on the 23rd of December. So it wasn't January, was it? I was still when I was in that dingy place is when I changed my flight. Yeah, so I must have been there where I messaged Webby. You can tell this is all uncut, can't you? No editing here. I messaged him and said, remind me where you were staying, because it looked quite nice and the price was good. And literally he's like, if you want a place like mine, I can introduce you today to a guy. He's got a condo that's empty, you can move straight in. Let's go and see him at 5 o'clock. It was something like 3 o'clock when I arranged to meet him. 2 hours later, 5 o'clock, done the deal, saw this apartment, absolutely loved it, and arranged to move here, literally for till the 15th of January. Yeah, because I changed my flight to the 15th of January. I'd spoken to Scarlett, talked about Christmas, because we always spend Christmas together, really, and she was okay with it. Oh, at least she said she was okay with it, and I wanted to stay out a bit longer just to see what it was like. So I changed my flight 15th of January, and that was it. I moved in here. Within 1 or 2 days of moving in here as well, the next thing was, well, I wouldn't mind staying a bit longer because it's still cold back in England. If I go back to Blighty, it's going to be cold. So there's not really any point doing that, is there? These are good. Singer red lemon soda, 0 sugar, apparently. Really nice, tangy. You need them in this hot weather. So what was the next thing that happened? I thought about staying longer because it was cold in the UK. Me and my mate were pretty happy here, so again spoke to Webby, put me on to agent, and there were various options, 90-day visas, but the thing that seemed obvious for me was a retirement visa with multi-entry, which means I can come and go as much as I like. So that's what I did. I applied, I went with him to where he recommended. It's about who you know, not what you know. And pay for the retirement visa. You need to have a bank account, you need to have a proper contract where you're renting. So again, that was all sorted out, because although I didn't have a proper contract, the agency charged me 2,000 baht, which is about 45 quid extra, and they did the contract. And they did it all for me. Took my passport. I haven't got a passport for another probably just under 2 weeks, and then I should get a retirement visa. And what that will mean is then, with a multi-entry, I can come and go as often as I want. So I can come back, still have a thought of a plan, go back to the UK in the springtime, and maybe buy a little flat in Reading. It's still a possibility, just because it still seems like home to me. But that flat in Reading would be the cost of 2 or 3 flats like this one here in Thailand, but I don't think that's relevant. This flat's probably about 60,000 UK, and I'm thinking of spending 200,000 for a 1-bed in Reading. But the multi-entry visa will allow me to come and go as much as I want, and I've still got some air miles, but even when I haven't got air miles, I just travel normal. I can go backwards and forwards as many times as I want, or I can go on holiday, or I can meet friends around the world. I can still do my travelling. On the other hand, I might not do my travelling, I might just stick it out here. So what's the conclusion? The conclusion is, as David Bowie sang, no plan, there was no plan. Who remembers my Soho No Plan? I did a 4 event like the Bowie's 4 EP No Plan. We did 4 events in Soho to one Christmas. If you remember it, comment below. Cheers, great times. My plan is no plan. Get the retirement visa. I mean, in total, it's probably, the visa's probably cost me, it may well have cost me £800. But in the scheme of things, it's not even a month's rent in Didcot. So, and whether I stick it out or not, it doesn't really matter. But I got the option to go backwards and forwards, and I can even keep this place here because this condo is under £300 a month. So I'll keep this condo here even if when I travel back, and I'll keep a base here. And if I feel I'm going to come here a lot more, you know, 6-8 months of the year, then I'll go back with empty case and come back over again with my air miles with more stuff of my own. So I've got more stuff around me to make it feel a bit more homely. So that's it really. No plan. I don't think you need a plan. I've always been a bit spontaneous. Can't see my drink in between my shirt, can you? My first Thai purchase. Apparently the flowers are something to do with Songkram, so people have stopped me in the street and asked me about it. Got it from Central Festival in Pattaya. So the plan now, in just about an hour, a bit less than an hour, I'm going to Hemingways for a Sunday roast. All the trimmings. Prawn cocktail to start. I'm not sure they've got Christmas pudding out, they've got mince pies, because I'd rather have mince pies than custard. I'm having dessert. We've only had cornflakes this morning. As I say, it's coming up for 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, so certainly be hungry. Have a great Christmas day with some new friends, but maybe make some more friends as well, and keep up with this no plan thing. I'm not a planner. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not a planner. So, happy Christmas to you all. Have I filled you all in on it? I was actually going to give a Christmas message as well. But the only Christmas message really worth giving is, have a happy and healthy one. Spoil your children or your grandchildren, because Christmas is for kids. And let them have everything they want. Scarlett, you listening? Even Dylan. Give him some chocolate, make him a bit more hyper, he'll be fine. It's a special day to everybody. Raise my glass to all my Bowie friends around the world and all my other friends around the world. Not going to mention one name because I'll always forget a few others, but if you're watching this, you're my friend. Happy Christmas. I will clip in a bit of the Hemingways at the end. You're not wrong. Yep. Happy Christmas! Mark's got cream.
Yeah, with cream. Strawberry mousse.
Strawberry mousse. Ice cream.
With pudding. This is technique and custard. Yes, thank you. This is technique.
And this is the end of my Christmas day. Happy Christmas to you. Happy Christmas. It's been a strange Christmas day. He's a good driver. I tell him go slow, he's a good man.